Eminent sociologist Ashis Nandy is facing possible arrest for his views, controversial comments that people from OBC, SC and ST communities were the most corrupt. Now, police are scrutinizing the video and the transcript of Nandy's remark. The Jaipur Lit Fest organizers, meanwhile, have been asked not to leave the city without permission.
The latest communication is that they've asked, the inquiry is on, so we've sent them the tapes and the transcript. We've also just signed a statement saying that we will not leave Jaipur. The law has to take its own course, and, it has to do what it has to do. I think the issue again here is that needs to be debated is at what forums do you do things like this, and at what forums can people as eminent as Ashish be allowed to speak his mind, irrespective of what the consequences are.
But a day after Ashis Nandy had to unceremoniously exit the Jaipur Lit Fest, he is getting some unlikely support. Dalit activist Kancha Ilaya says that while Nandy's comments were wrong, his heart was in the right place. But Kancha Ilaya, just listening.
I will fight this battle intellectually with Ashis Nandy on a different forum, at a different level.
You're challenging him.
I will definitely challenge if he has said that they are corrupt and not the upper caste.
देखिए, आशीष नंदी जी के द्वारा जो स्टेटमेंट दिया गया वो आपराधिक प्रवृत्ति का है। मुझे आश्चर्य है कि राजस्थान गवर्नमेंट ने अब तक कोई कार्रवाई नहीं की। उनको उसी दिन जब ये मामला उठा था, रिपोर्ट दर्ज हुई, उसी दिन को उनको गिरफ्तार करके जेल भेजा जाना चाहिए था। और आज हमने नोटिस उनको भेजा है कि अब तक क्यों विलंब किया, अब तक उनके खिलाफ क्यों नहीं कार्रवाई, अब तक उनको क्यों नहीं गिरफ्तार किया गया। और मैं आज बात भी करूंगा, हमने नोटिस जारी किया है।
Well, even with some reprieve coming in, the SC Commission head PL Punia, they're asking for the arrest of Ashis Nandy for the diatribe on SC, ST and other comments that he had made on scheduled class and OBCs. They're joining us, in fact, live right now is the man in the middle of this storm, the man right in the eye of this controversy. Ashis Nandy, noted author, sociologist, is live with us in this bulletin. Thank you, sir, for talking to Headlines today. The first question that I put forth at this point of time, there were reports that the reason you left Jaipur was to escape the consequences of your action, of your comments.
Yes, there is, because I've left Jaipur and I'm in Delhi, because though the organizers and I myself was keen to face the consequences there, even if it meant arrest, my family members were very nervous, particularly my younger generation, and I felt that I owe it to them to avoid a confrontation right there in Jaipur, but move to Delhi.
So the reason that you left, which you're stating right now, was a clear attempt at the Lit Fest to avoid open confrontation.
Yes, I didn't want to create a scene, and I am sure if I was speaking the next day, there would have been demonstrations at that site, and I didn't want the festival to suffer for me. That also is the other part of the story, though the festival organizers were open to the idea of confronting the demonstrator and trying to explain things to them.
You know, Professor, somebody of your standing today stands charged of intellectual dishonesty. You yourself have been accused of projecting corruption as a caste trait. Now, what do you have to say all of this and what all has been printed after your speech?
This is absurd. It is absurd, but I did consider the issue of caste in the context of corruption, and in fact, the brief presentation I made was aggressively pro-Dalit, pro-Adivasi and pro-OBC. I was suggesting that even more corruption from them would be a contribution to social equality and redistributive justice. In fact, Tarun Jejpal had made the same point earlier, and I did say that I endorse Tarun's statement. In fact, it was very convenient to find a sentence in my talk which seemed to suggest that there was more corruption among the backward classes, Dalits and Adivasis. But the very next sentence I said that this is, if there was this, it would be a contribution to social equality, and I could look at the future of the Republic with more confidence and hope.
So essentially, Mr. Nandy, you're trying to say that a deliberate attempt has been made to project an ironical reference as now what you're saying a grotesque generalization.
Absolutely, and the person who projected it, Ashutosh of IBN7, knew that perfectly well, because he had made me write the foreword to his book on corruption. So he knew my position pretty well. If he knew this position of mine, that what he is claiming now that I have, then he should not have requested me to write that foreword, or should have rejected it after I had written it.
Sir, at this point of time, the SC Commission head, Mr. P.L. Punia, wants you arrested. Now, that statement is in fact gathering resonance at various quarters. You as an individual, do you believe, Mr. Nandy, that you should be prosecuted for the statement?
Certainly not. Though if I am prosecuted, I am sure I will come out well from that experience.
So, but Mr. Nandy, at this point of time, there are so many voices being raised against that statement of yours. Don't you think that there is reason why people are attacking you today, or do you see absolutely no reason in this attack at all?
They are not attacking me. They are not interested in attacking me at all. They are interested in increasing the TRP. I am told nowadays that channels are willing to kill their own mothers for the sake of increasing their TRP. If that is true, one should not be surprised.
So we are going after the messenger. That's, a rather soft option, especially from somebody of your stature, should not take that pot shot. Let's quickly, for the benefit of our viewers, read your statement again. Now, you said there, sir, and I quote, "It will be an undignified and vulgar statement, but the fact is that most of the corrupt come from the OBCs and the SC and not STs. There was a backlash to this by the group you've referred to. We reported the fact. So why suddenly now you're turning around and blaming the media? Because this is what you said. I quoted what you said."
No, media has not filed cases. But when I say this is, I hope I have hope in the Republic. It is because I believe that if the Dalits, OBCs, and the Adivasis participate more in corruption, there will be at least some indirect social equality, contribution to social equality, as well as some redistributive justice, as I have already said. And before me, Tarun Tejpal made the same point. I am astounded that that one can take out a sentence out of what I said without the preceding sentence and the sentence that followed it. When I said I have hope in the Republic, I had that in mind. The very fact that there are now more Dalits, Adivasis, and OBCs who know how to milk the system.
Sir, at this point of time, along with all the flack, you're also getting some support. Now, do you believe, like what a fellow academic said today, that the leaders of the Dalit Bahujan movement find it rather difficult to actually distinguish between friends and foes? Do you agree with that point?
Yes, that's what it seems from this episode at least.
But sir, that is what he has said. Do you agree to it?
After this episode, at least will seem to show that. That's what I'm saying. That this episode seems to confirm that. But I will wait to find out. But because sir, it is also true that one or two of them have privately said to them that they're sorry about the whole thing. Because they know me, that they have said.
But sir, the same academic has once again gone ahead and said, then I quote there, that it is unfortunate that one of our finest scholars today is caught in a case of mistaken identity of an argument, while another leader scholar has now made that comment that you made a very, and I quote him again, a very bad statement, but with good intentions.
Yes, perhaps it was a bad statement made with good intentions, because Indian media is perhaps not a place where irony, sarcasm, and similar other indirect ways of conveying one's ideas have any place. Because we have to say, it expects to say that milk is white and motherhood is good. That kind of platitudes have a place for it. But if you are using sarcasm or any form of wit, that might be misconstrued, either unwittingly or deliberately.
So, sir, in hindsight, do you regret your statement, or do you at least admit that the statement was bad, as what a fellow academic has said today?
If taken in isolation, it is probably a bad statement, because I made the same statement as part of my Sachar Memorial lecture and also indirectly in the Ambedkar lecture, only within the last year.
Mr. Nandy, I appreciate you joining us.